The college football experience week 3 pregame show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
What's up, everybody? This is Cameron Krog from Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Shout out to the Broad Stop. Thank you, guys.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience week 3 pregame show. This is my favorite week of the 3 weeks. How could you say that? I've heard so many different people on national television say this is kind of a lackluster week. Bullshit. You got the backyard brawl. Anytime you got the backyard brawl, and you got all these great little rivalries that are making it fantastic. Whether it's Colorado State, Rocky Mountain Showdown, 100 Miles of Hate with Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee, Apple Cup, Civil War, the Battle of the Brothers there, Utah State and Utah. BYU Wyoming is an old rivalry. On the FCS ranks, you got Southern Jackson State. You got it's a fucking great weekend. It's a great Saturday. Buckle up. YouTube.com/the college experience. If you wonder just who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
We got a fire week ahead, all right? Don't listen to the naysayers. Today's a fantastic day, all right? Don't let them sprinkle this bullshit. All right. And then you even got the trendy like Alabama, Wisconsin game, which is fun. You know what I mean? You got some of those ones too. How about another one? Oklahoma State, Tulsa, been playing forever. Cincinnati, Miami, Ohio, the Battle of Victory Bell. This is a great Saturday. Don't let them tell you otherwise. YouTube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button already. All right. See all you people in here. Takes a half a second out of your day. Don't be an asshole. It's early in the morning here. I look like Jeff Van Gundy, I feel like, with these eye bags. You know, look at my fucking eyes. I never sleep anymore. Sun was yelling all throughout the night. But it's okay. Right? How the fuck everyone doing out there? Terrell's got some internet issues, so he's not with us today. I believe he has like a blackout in his area. We got to power through it, man. We got to power through it. We've had a lot of line movement too. So that's always, big to see. I'll start off with these 9 a.m. games for you because I have some wagers already placed. And shout out to Shoe Math. Colby, the Rebels came out to play. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. Like a great win for UNLV's program. They haven't been 3-0 since fucking Randall Cunningham and Suge Knight were on that team. But at the same time, you can be very lucky with that play right before the half, the fumble that touched like 7 guys on Kansas defense. But I'm with you. I know Shoemath's a UNLV fan. They're looking great. 3-0 and 2-0 against the Big 12 is phenomenal. I'm on the look. I'm on the under with Kansas this year, so that game was pretty pivotal, I think, towards the under hitting. And I blame Kansas themselves. Jalen Daniels does not look great this year, but NIL money and a year off can have that effect. That's where we got to start factoring into our college handicapping. Is now that these QBs are specifically QBs are paid like with true fuck you money at that age. You know, you wonder if that edge will still be there. I'm not saying it's all on him. Could be the O-line too, but playing at that side, playing away from the campus is just idiotic. They failed the team immensely, in my opinion. But shout out to UNLV. 3-0 is 3-0, and I'm excited for your futures. Hopefully you get out of that filthy stadium and go back to Sam Boyd. But I mean, Barry Odom's doing a great job. So shout out to Colt giving us $10. Ready to double my paycheck or lose it all today. Let's fucking go. That's the mentality you need. And hey, how about Kansas State last night? That was my favorite play on the board. Getting it done against the Arizona Wildcats. But yes, 9 a.m. we have some heat there. I have wagers placed, and it starts with the reigning national champions, Michigan. And by the way, if you're really swift right now, there is a 21 on the board, a flat 21 on the board out there in the universe right now. I think Arkansas State's the phoniest team. That's 2-0 in the FBS. Michigan's going to put it on them. I'm laying the 21. I know NC Nick, my brother, did lock up Texas Tech minus the points against North Texas. I didn't touch that game. Mocha and Gatorade. Yeah, pretty much. Had some adult beverages last night. So working with okay, I'll crack a beer in a little bit here. But I got another lock for you, and it's absolutely disgusting. This pussy pack line, NC State, has dropped below 21. Louisiana Tech's fucking terrible. Pussy pack gonna make a statement, in my opinion, and this is disgusting to do. But I did bet NC State minus the points while I was waiting on this very coffee. All right. There was also a homeless guy yelling at me obscenities about Barack Obama of all. That's the best part about living in LA. You get just random. Just be walking down the street. Fucking homeless guy cursing John F. Kennedy's been dead for 60 fucking years. I could tell a lot of stories about the homeless situation in Venice Beach, where I reside. Anyway, we could do a few hours on that. Let me know if you want the Pick Dundee homeless podcast to fly off the shelves here. But yes, I think Michigan and NC State favorites that you roll with. If you're looking for a dog, now this line's come down some, so I don't like it as much, but it's still, to me, over 17. Golden Hurricane to cover against Oklahoma State. It's 17.5, 18. Shop around. That's a wager I've placed. Shout out to Fat Mr. Med. How many Jaeger bombs deep are you going to be when App State leaves Greenville with a dub? Oh, buddy. That wager. I just play that music now because we believe in the virus, in the spirit of ECU. Yes. Look, App State. Sean Clark. The program's not on the same level with Sean Clark as head coach. Mike Houston's getting ECU back to where they should be. So when you go into G Vegas gonna have a tough time today. Gonna have a tough time, especially running the rock. Better hope you can have some success in the air. But I appreciate the game being played. And look, I love App State other than this game. So it's not. This isn't a true NC State ECU style game. Shout out to my guy Dean in the chat and Jake Paquin, legendary Jake Paquin. So yeah, my bets at the 9 a.m. slate, and probably my favorite bet at the 9 a.m. slate is right here. The Cincinnati Bearcats -3 or 2.5 battle for the victory bell. They lost a year ago at home in Nippert to the Miami Ohio Redhawks. Now they got to go to Jaegerbaum Stadium. And I think Miami Ohio is gonna eat it today. Let's go. Johnny saying, am I crazy taking the 21.5 with Central Michigan, Illinois letdown spot? My buddy CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, is on that spot. I took the points picking every game. I think you're on the right side, but I don't love it enough. Losing that much to Florida International, and I just wonder, they lost some guys in the portal, but I took the points on the picks page. So, man, and we got a brutal beat situation on K-State team total with a missed field goal late. Yeah, that's tough, man. Here's another lock that I have that I like a lot on the 9 a.m. slate. That's LSU minus. What do you get? I see a 4.5 out there. What are they doing? 4.5. Don't insult me. South Carolina's a phony ass team. You look back at that win a week ago, they had like 240 yards or something. Brian Kelly and his family are going to come up in there. College game day there. They're the more desperate team. They can't afford to go 1-2. All right. LSU wins by double digits today. Let's go. Let's go. What else do we have? I did bet Boston College. I think they keep it. I bet that shit early in the week though, so I don't know that you don't want to touch it right now. It's down to like 14 or something like that. I bet Boston College. Shout out to Bug Boy 4.0 giving us 5 American. Edibles kicking in, starting to feel like money line round robin with Washington State, UConn, Old Dominion. Let's fucking go. Yes. I am on, just to let you know, I am on, those are all the 9 o'clock games I'm on, by the way. It ends with Boston College, but then at 11 o'clock, I did take Coastal Carolina against Temple. I bet the backyard brawl every year just because I watch every play of that rivalry. I don't have a strong conviction to the backyard brawl play, but I just like to watch that game deeper than others. I took the Texas A&M Aggies in the swamp to get it done. So there's some there. And let me know, by the way, if you want FCS too. If you guys want FCS, I got that. I got that too for you. All right. Shout out to Jake's grandmother here. Her 90th birthday today. There we go. There we fucking go. She's demanding a moneyline dog round robin. I got it for you. And happy birthday to her, man. I hope I can make it to 90. You know, like standing up and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if I get to 90 and I'm just like you know, sitting in an old folks home or something, I'm out. All right. Everyone be talking about just, you can't even, I can just imagine if there's this many domes in the NFL now, what's it going to look like then? What the fuck am I talking about? So round robin moneyline dog. Let's do that. Let's honor her 90th birthday. Happy birthday to her. I think Washington State's going to beat Washington outright. I really believe that. I think they're a better football team than Washington right now. I think they know the ramifications. If they win this, they're pretty much going to be favored in every game minus the Boise game on the way out. Yeah, that's one right there. Chalk it up. One right there. And if you want to get a little crazy there, moneyline dog play. I think UConn is live to win this game at Duke. So that's two legs of this round robin. And by the way, this UConn one, plus 550 on the money line currently. That's what I'm saying. You don't come here for a little 1 point dog. You come here to bullshit and talk about real money being made here. Drunken Irishman, yes, Cincinnati is a lock for me. Chat's cracking me up. That's two. So we're at two. Moneyline dogs in play. And for a round robin, I'm just gonna throw out. Let me see which one. I'm trying to go in order of strength. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Kennesaw State is live in this game. Now, you take the points here. Kennesaw State is live. I think Old Dominion's live. Florida International, and they're only a 5-point favorite, but I think Florida International is a better football team than Florida Atlantic right now. It's much in the same vein as Washington State. They're both on the road. I feel like they've looked better than the other counterpart there. So I think those are all live on the money line. Trying to see what else money line wise. I mean, I don't think Tulsa's going to win the game outright. It's worth a little bit of a sprinkle, but I just don't. For some reason, I just feel like they're year 2 of Kevin Wilson. They'll find a way to fuck it up. But I do think Wyoming could be. Wyoming's looked like shit the first 2 weeks, so I know it's a crazy statement by me, but I just feel like historically they always get up, even in their bad seasons, they get up and beat Power Fives, and BYU became a Power Five a year ago. So, that would be one. I also think San Diego State could be live, but to go to 4, and also Colorado State, obviously Rocky Mountain Showdown, but my 4 and Southern Miss is another one that I like too, that I think could be live against South Florida after the Alabama game. But I'm going to go Washington State, Florida International, UConn, and I want a 4th one there. And it's either Kennesaw State or Southern Miss. See, the problem with Kennesaw State is you're going cross country though. Give me Southern Miss as that one. All right. Fat Mr. Met says, any chance Nevada can win? I mean, look, the problem with Minnesota's offense is they can't score. So I'd say that makes you have a chance right there. I think that's a game. I like Nevada in the points. Shout out to Jefferson E. White saying, what do you got on Delaware coming off a bye versus North Carolina A&T? I don't have a strong play on that one. I lean Delaware though, with the way they're, year 3 of Cardi, the way they've been prepping up for this FBS move, and then I still think Vincent Brown's figuring it out at A&T. I do think A&T is improved. They look a lot better, like as eye test than a year ago, but I think Delaware coming in there, statement game there. I think it's 19 the last. Do you have an updated line on that? I saw 19. I want to say in the wee hours of the morning. I would probably lay it with Delaware. That's not one of my favorite plays though in the FCS there. Shout out to Chess and Gambling Daily. How about Wake Forest? I'll take Wake Forest over 3 touchdowns. Now this one, I don't love the play, but I like it, if that makes sense. Like, I just feel like Ole Miss has got to prove to me that they're decent defensively. I know they went out and hired Pete Golding a year and a half ago or whatever from Alabama, and they brought in a ton of guys, Walter Nolan, and maybe they are that good defensively this year. But under Lane Kiffin, it's hard to deduce anything from the first 2 weeks because the opponents were so bad. Furman is 0-2. They lost to Charleston Southern in the FCS in week 2. Middle Tennessee is 1-1, but barely got by a shitty Tennessee Tech squad. So I don't know what to really make of Ole Miss. I think Dave Clawson will find creative ways to move the ball against that defense. Now, if the defense is on another level, then we'll find out. But I just think anything over 3 touchdowns, give me Dave Clawson. I think Dave Clawson can figure that out. Surprised I didn't throw Memphis in the round robin. Well, Florida State had a bye week, and I think sometimes that was a much needed bye week. Had they not had that bye week and just 6 days later had to lace them up again and go, I think they probably. So I don't have as strong conviction as that one. Like I actually am staying away from that game. So there's that, and yeah, some other ones out there that I like that I'm betting. Vanderbilt -9. This line's come down. This was at like 11. I think Vanderbilt's going to put it on Georgia State. I think Western Kentucky and 100 Miles of Hate is going to put it on Middle Tennessee. So get on over there. Like both those ones stand out to me as plays. I've bet both of those, and let's cash. Diego pissing Pavia for Prez. I did take Wisconsin in the points on the picks page. Did not bet this game because Wisconsin to me has looked ass ever since they. I think I was, if I may. I think I was one of the only, or we were one of the only publications, and me specifically, I feel like questioning the hire of Fickle when that happened. I thought it was a questionable hire. I think everyone else loved it, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to work out with them. But Jalen Milroe on the road at a place like that, we'll see. I think you take the points, but I think Bama is going to win the game. What else do I have on the slate that I bet? Indiana is one of my favorite plays of the day. I know UCLA had a bye week last week, and they fucking needed that bye week after the way their offensive line performed against Hawaii's defense. I think Indiana and Kurt Cignetti are going to fuck them up. One of the things that stood out to me with Kurt Cignetti's tenure in Madison, at Madison, James Madison, was how dominant they were on the line of scrimmage against other Sun Belt teams. And I think he pretty much brought that whole JMU team to Indiana. And if you caught the UCLA Hawaii game, UCLA's offensive line, it's bad. So I think they're going to fuck them up. And this is their first Big Ten game. Make a statement. The momentum of that program is going in the right direction. So another one that I like that's turned into a little yapper. TCU is now, I'm seeing it as a 2-point favorite against UCF. I think UCF's going to win that game outright. Shout out to my guy Bet Boy Tony C. The more beers I drink, the better the Hoosiers look. Crank it up. There we go. Sometimes look, I tell this story all the time. Alcohol gets a bad rap because you do have idiots that are out there drinking and driving, killing people, or getting in fights or stabbing people or something, but they never tell the good side of alcohol. Good side of alcohol is I've hit parlays because of alcohol, right? You've met people you never would have met because of alcohol. You know what I mean? I've met a few people that I would have never met because of alcohol. You know what I mean? And I also am going to thank alcohol for saving my life. I think I told this story before on the basketball show. Once upon a time, I just moved to LA. And I couldn't find a gig, and I get a job I was living in LA without a car, and I got a job like an hour south of LA, right in Orange County. I was also kind of dating someone down there. But I was taking the train down there. Right. And, one day I would stay down there sometimes because of the girl. So I stay down there one night, and then I'm working the next day, and then I work like a day shift, and then I go to take the train back up, and a buddy of mine convinces me, and this is the only time I've ever been drunk at a California Pizza Kitchen. Maybe the only time I've ever consumed alcohol. I've only been to like a California Pizza Kitchen maybe like 4 or 5 times in my life. I walk all the way to this train station, which was like a 30-minute walk, right? And I'm about to get on this train, and my buddy calls me. And he's like, dude, South Florida and Kansas are playing. It's a Friday night or a Thursday night or something. He's like, let's go get fucked up. And he's like, drinks on me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go get fucked up, dude. I got fucked up last night. Right. And he's like, come on, dude, meet me at California Pizza Kitchen. And I'm like, California Pizza Kitchen? What? But he somehow entices me to go to California Pizza Kitchen, walk back the 30 minutes. And I go to California Pizza Kitchen and I get super fucked up. And guess what? That train crashed. And some people died on that train. It was like, it wasn't like a gigantic number, but it was like 7 or 8 people died on that train. And alcohol saved my life. That's all I'm saying. It gets a bad rap because had I not decided to get fucked up at California Pizza Kitchen, I may have died. All right. Saying there's a million stories out there. No one ever tells the good side of alcohol. I can appreciate Rob Donaldson. I met my last 4 ex-girlfriends in a bar. Hey, it works. I met my wife at the basement of an art gallery doing some shitty comedy show hosted by Sean Green. Right? It works, you know? Anyway, San Diego State's live against Cal, right? We're taking the points in San Diego State. I think a little bit of a letdown. You beat an SEC team. You're a little dinged up. You're back there in Berkeley. You've been popping pills all week, right? San Diego State comes in there. They got shut out at home last week. Sean Lewis, you know that was a hard week of practice. They're covering that, what is it, 18, 17 and a half in Berkeley. And I also think the money line might be live. All right. So Aztecs, lock it up. I like Cracky's. He's got Central Michigan live in Champaign today. Drunken Irishman favorite play for the noon slate. That is for me. I would say LSU and Cincinnati would be the two that jump out to me the most. Probably LSU would be my top one. I just can't see them losing this one. I don't think South Carolina's that good. They should have lost to Old Dominion in the opener. So those two would be the ones I like most. I do like Michigan though, NC State and Oklahoma State. Yeah, that for time slot wise, those are like that's the time slot. And I have Boston College, so it's like that. I have a lot of wagers at that time slot. For the 3:30 kicks, I'm sitting on. Well, I guess right before that, I have Coastal against Temple. Temple's fucking terrible. I have A&M. A&M minus, I think I have 3 or 3.5 against Florida there. I am also sitting on Washington State money line is one of my favorite plays. I think Washington State's just better than Washington. The chat was asking me about Tulane. I did not bet Tulane, but I am on Tulane on the picks page. I did bet East Carolina because, well, I mean, fascinated by the Utah State game because obviously Cam Rising's injured again. This happens every 30 minutes. He gets injured. Bryson Barnes, the pig farmer. I don't know if it's going to be him or Spencer Petrus. Petrus is questionable. Something to monitor there. They also have, I mean, I'll take the points in Utah State, even though I know they're going through like a crazy. I had Nate Drilling on the show. The interim head coach came on this very podcast, and I loved what he did at New Mexico State with Jerry Kill. The offense didn't look so great against USC last week, but this is a get right spot. So, yeah, give me the points and the Aggies there. Didn't bet that yet, but I think I am going to pull the trigger on that. I did bet Florida International, the airport going into Boca Raton. I think they're the better team. They get it done. UConn plus 17.5. I also sprinkled that money line. I also did bet Jacksonville State against Eastern Michigan. And I think I've talked about every single wager that I have placed. Am I forgetting any wagers that I have placed? I don't think so. Any other questions for? I FCS. I could hit you with some FCS parlays that I have, or not parlays, but locks that I have. Let me just grab those lines. FCS ranks. What did I take here? I actually took Western Illinois in the 37. Illinois State, Western Illinois. I see someone talking about Illinois State lock. I did bet Western plus the 37. It's a rivalry game. That shit's like goes back to like 1904. Western's played 2 FBS opponents. It's a big ass number. I know they suck, but it's a big ass number. I also took Charleston Southern against Richmond. They're getting like 12.5, 13 points. I think they're live. I know my guy Kevin from FCS Nation Radio is in agreement with me. I think Charleston Southern is live to win outright against Richmond. I also think Idaho State is going to cover at North Dakota. People are talking about the Rocky Mountain Showdown in the chat. Look, if you get under 7, I'm going to take my Buffs. Just because I'm a Buffs fan, take it with a grain of salt. But if it's over 7, you can't take the Buffs. You can't do that. Yes. Shout out to Western Georgia. West Georgia, I think, is live. I did bet West Georgia plus the points there at Eastern Kentucky. I think that's a game. A couple other FCS ones of note. Montana minus that big ass number. I think it's 35.5, 36. I took a flyer on that. I also took Towson plus 21.5 against Villanova. I think Campbell also. The Campbell Camels are in Kingston, Rhode Island, taking on the Rams. I think Campbell is a better football team. So I think they're going to win outright against the Rhode Island Rams. I think that's majority of the FCS plays there. Florida State, versus Ball State. Trinidad, that is Miami, Florida against Ball State. 36.5 point favorites. I didn't know what to do there. I don't like that game. I took Ball State in the points, but I didn't bet that. Colby, what do you think of Kennesaw? I am taking Kennesaw. San Jose State didn't score in the second half of the game last week. I think Kennesaw can push them to. I think that's a lock to cover. I think you sprinkle a little bit on the money line because I don't know that San Jose State's all there yet. So jump over there. Tyler saying the Civil War at Apple Cup on the same time as criminal. Yeah, these execs really pissed me off. You know what I mean? By putting them all week 3. And I think that's the same time as the backyard brawl too. I don't know what to tell you. These people fucking suck. They're all wealthy, fucking with the sport left and right, and they don't even know the sport. 2-leg parlay. I like what would be the best 2-leg parlay? Money line parlay, are we talking, Joe? I would say Washington State and like Washington State and LSU. How about that one? I do think Mercyhurst is a live dog. I think Mercyhurst is going to give them a game there in the FCS. You look at what they did last week. I was a little impressed with those Lakers as they're taking on Bernard Clark and Robert Morris. I agree that they are a live dog. Shout out to Jay Trinidad. Let's go. And shout out to Marcus He, former Montana Grizz football player. Shout out to him. Love the Grizz today, minus the points. Rebound after losing in Grand Forks last week. I think they put it on Moorhead State there. I actually like laying that big number. I also kind of like the over in that game. I think Montana's going to score in the 50s today. But yes, Washington State and LSU, fire away. 3-leg parlay. I'm trying to give the people different parlays. All right, we did the round robin. How about parlays per time zone or per time of kick? 9 a.m. parlay. Right? Let's do Cincinnati, LSU, and NC State. That's the 9 a.m. one, right? Out here on the west, noon on the east, wherever the fuck you're located, right? At noon here, 3:30 Eastern, we parlay Washington State. You're gonna want to get this in a little bit earlier. Coastal Carolina against Temple, Washington State, and what's the third leg on this? Give me Nevada and the points on the third leg. Nevada and the points on the third leg. That's your noon parlay out here on the west. At the 3:30 spot on the west, which is once again, last time I checked, 6:30 Eastern. I would say we parlay Western Kentucky -7 against Middle Tennessee. That's 7, by the way. Kennesaw State plus the points, and Vanderbilt minus the points. And then at for your nightcap, or you could put Indiana in there too. Actually, that's what we do. We do 4 teams at night at Indiana on that slate. Then for the late night stuff, when you're really having fun and drinks are flowing, you load up with Wyoming. You load up with San Diego State, and I'm gonna have to grab an FCS one, I think, as the third and final leg of this parlay. What is the last kick? Damn. I would say you load up with Nichols, with Colin Guggenheim at the running back spot. Nichols as the third leg on that. That's a little bit of a stretch, but I feel like Nichols, that's a 6:00 Pacific kick. So yeah, shop to you drop. People are teasing. No, I can do a tease too. Nah, you too. Whatever. You know, backyard brawl pick. I went West Virginia, Marcus. I think they're the more desperate team, and I think that's something lost in the narrative this week. Is let's talk about the desperate teams here. To me, the desperate teams: Cincinnati Bearcats. Scott Satterfield needs a rivalry win really bad. Brian Kelly and his family, they didn't look great against Nichols. They lost to USC. The way Michigan performed last week, embarrassing at home. Dave Dorn at NC State. And then I think West Virginia is one of those. I think they're in the more desperate spot. I also think they're better right now along the line of scrimmage than Pitt is. And Pitt's been playing with fire both weeks. Kent State had that thing in the third quarter, kind of close. They're down 20 last week to Cincinnati. I think they've been playing with fire, and this is now Neil Brown's game plan, in my opinion. Pitt has more explosive. Give me some fucking coffee. Explosive players to me, and I think that's if there's a knock against West Virginia's football program this year to me, and last year, is that they got no guys that really like jump out as like game breakers, right? So I do think they are better on the line of scrimmage. So I think Neil Brown's going to try to run, and I think limit the possessions for Cade Bell, the OC there, and Eli Holstein and Desmond Reed. And I think that's how Dub V gets it done, by establishing the run. And Pitt's defense isn't there yet, in my opinion. Narduzzi traditionally has a good defense, but they get rated in the portal every year of late, and it takes him to like week 5 or 6 to really get the defense to me where he wants it. So that's why I went with Dub V. But I do think that storyline though of desperation, desperate teams, you could add Notre Dame to that list. I just don't think Notre Dame has that explosive offense to lay more than a touchdown. So I didn't include that on my list. Trying to think what other teams would fall in the desperate category. I think that's majority of them though. Yeah, I think that's majority of them. Maybe Wyoming you would add into that mix. What else? Oh, let's go. Shout out. Yeah. Real Money Kramer said, look, only 50 likes. What the hell's going on? Hit that like and subscribe button, folks. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Tyson Spalding's asking me about Kentucky. I can't take Kentucky. Their offense looked so bad last week. And this is one that I think I was on. We'll see as the season prolongs. I did not count. I've never counted. Kentucky fans are going to hate me but I have never thought they were serious. Like I never thought they've been good. Really. Like even like that 10-win season, I think Louisville, you catch Louisville. They've been better than Louisville lately. But the SEC East was down. Florida has been down for a fucking long time. Mizzou is down a little bit there. Drinkowitz has brought it out. You know, the cellar. Vandy has been shit lately, but not this year. Tennessee, before Heupel had it going, was down. So I thought South Carolina. So like I always thought that you get an FCS, you get 2 MAC teams, and you take care of all those other ones not named Georgia. Which they never even did take care of Tennessee. But you can always put together these phony seasons. So I tend to think now that they have to go and take on a lot of the SEC West teams, let alone Oklahoma and Texas coming in. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. So watching them, and for some reason South Carolina has their number too. So they look like shit last week. I don't know why. I can't take them against Georgia. Like maybe they keep it. Maybe you take the points and it works out for you because Kentucky's defense is decent, but the offense is fucking horrible. So I can't do that. I just can't. I can't feel confident about Kentucky. I do like BC. Now this line's dropped. I got it at 17 on like Monday or Tuesday, but 14.5. I still like it. I think, but like Missouri's played nobody. I don't know what to, like. Yes, sure they've looked amazing, but I mean, what? Okay, you look back a season ago at that 10-win season or 11-win season, whatever it was for Mizzou. They had a lot of close wins, like a 4-point win or 5-point win against Middle Tennessee. They had just a lot of close wins. There's other ones too. Even the South Dakota game was only like a 17-point win. And they lost their defense coordinator, Blake Baker, to LSU, and they lost a bunch of starters on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think they're there yet, even though they've shut out both teams. Murray State is a bad FCS. Buffalo brought in Pete Lembo, who I like to hire, but he's in year 1, game 2. You fuck up Buffalo. Doesn't mean much to me. So I think BC is really good on the offensive line. I think it's like their best offensive line they've had in a few years there. And you look at, to me, what Bill O'Brien, and I was a little bit of a skeptic of the hire of Bill O'Brien. Patty C was all for it, but I was a little more like, I don't know, NFL guy. But the more I did a deep dive on it, the more I realized he's not just an NFL guy. He was George O'Leary at Georgia Tech. He was with Ralph Friedgen at Maryland and stuff like that. So then I start to buy in a little bit more. Obviously, he was with Saban and Alabama. So I do think the hire is better than I thought it was initially. And then you look at what he's done. One of the things I feared was Castellanos. He's going to make him a drop back passer. He hasn't. He's let him be Castellanos, adjusting to his roster. A lot of times when NFL coaches come down to college, they struggle because they think like, oh, we're going to do it just like the NFL. And it's like, no, you have to look at your roster and adapt and find the best ways to win based off your roster skill set. I also thought though he's done a great job in the portal, bringing in talent, bringing in Trayshawn Ward, the former Florida State and K-State running back. Was a wise get. Morales, the tight end from North Carolina, the wideout Bradley from Texas Tech. They're way more athletic than Boston College has been in a lot of years. Like the roster is more athletic, I would say. Like the probably since early 2000s, as far as like to me this much athleticism. Even when they had Zay Flowers and stuff, they didn't have this much athleticism. So. I would take BC in the points. I think they're going to give them a game. Yes. Shout out to Sean stacking the Collie Greens. Let's go. What else we got? I'm not a Giants fan. I'm just sitting in the studio, dude. Come on. You know I'm out. You know I'm out on the NFL. Gotta announce when you're kicking an onside kick. Hey, just so you know, we're kicking an onside kick. No, I can't get on board with that shit. I pray that it does not ever touch the college game and that silly ass kickoff. All right. Please never touch the college game. Duke minus 16 against UConn. No, on the other side of this, UConn's going to give them a game. I think UConn's live to win that thing. Any other questions? Fire away on games. What games haven't we talked about? Off the beaten path games. We got them. The Civil War. I took Oregon State in the points. I don't feel as confident as I feel like everyone's on Oregon State. So I don't feel as confident there. Colby, why do I like Wyoming? Well, I've lost money both weeks on Wyoming, so I don't like them. I just know historically, and this is coach proof. This is whether it's Craig Bowl, whether it's Christensen, whether it's Joe Tiller. They who was the coach from Houston too last year? With Dana Dimmel, right? They have been a great team at home. You go back to the 90s. Like, this is coach proof. This is not just a Craig Bowl thing. They normally fuck up Power 5 teams that come into Laramie. BYU became a Power 5 team a year ago. Now, it is an old school rivalry. The elevation shouldn't be as much of a problem for BYU. But I just feel like Wyoming, I'm puzzled at how they're this bad. They returned so much production on the offensive line, the defensive line. I understand they have some injuries, but still, I'm puzzled how they've been this bad thus far. I think they get up and they give BYU a game. So that's the logic there. What else do we have on the slate that I have not talked about? Troy taking on Iowa. Rob Donaldson is he told me he put mortgage payment on the Hawkeyes under 39.5. It's a risky move because I think they cover the 20. They're laying like 22 or 23. I think you lay it with Iowa, but it's going to take all 4 quarters to get that. What else? UAB Arkansas. I didn't know what the fuck to do there. I took UAB in the points, but I'm terrified of that one. Don't bet that one. What else? You had Gardner Webb and Charlotte, the running Bulldogs. What the hell happened in this game? I need intel. I need someone to break this down. Gardner Webb's in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, not far from Charlotte. So I was like chomping at the bit. Even in July, I was like, oh, I'm going to take Gardner Webb in the points. They almost beat JMU last week. They had like a 4th and goal, which would have sent the game to overtime. And this was an 8-point spread all week. Come in today, it's a 14-point spread, or last night it's a 14.5-point spread. What the fuck happened? I need to know more information, and it's hard to find information on some of these FCS. I know, and another thing is we know Charlotte's starting quarterbacks, Max Brown, the Florida transfer's out. So why the hell would it jump that many points? I'm gonna bet Gardner Webb plus the points because, there's got to be more news out there. Gardner Webb had to have some scratches or something. I don't understand how it jumped that much. Tyler is great because me and him think alike. I think UMass is live to win the game. I think UMass is going to win the game. Definitely get the 3.5 or the 4 because I think it's like a field goal game regardless. Let's go. Gage in the chat. No, Kansas, even worse, dude. If you subscribe to the Stadium Heads podcast. We did a deep dive on this. Kansas has a classic stadium. Did it need an upgrade? Sure. Did it need some? But it had a cool classic look to it. David Booth Memorial Stadium there. And Kansas just went and spent a bunch of money, and instead of remodeling, like Vanderbilt's remodeling while they're still playing, which I think is what you should do. But they're also destroying it and making it look like a modern soccer stadium. It's fucking horrible. Like they're doing renovations, but they're making it just look uncollege football. They're making it look just like a corporate fucking shit stadium. It's really horrible. It's tragic. Part of my handicap on the Jayhawks on the under this year. Who's making these decisions? They're flying blind over there. Jacksonville State is a lock of mine. Rich Rodriguez, they got better athletes. They're going to turn that corner today against EMU. Kind of excited to watch that game. Yeah, look, I know the old one was a dump, but it still had a classic look. Look, there's a Wrigley Field was a dump at one point. You know what I mean? Like you protect what you have, you build up around that. You know what I mean? There's a science to this. It still had that classic royal look at the beginning as you're entering. Okay. You keep that classic look. You build up around that. You don't make it look like a fucking MLS stadium. Go look at the renderings. It's fucking horrible. All right. Northwestern did the same thing. Shame on all them. All right. The only thing Northwestern did right was the stadium by the lake for 2 years. Anyway, what else? Old Dominion, I do think is live. I forgot I have one bet that you could cash in on right now. Akron is minus 12.5, maybe even 13 out there against Colgate. I think Akron's going to make a statement game. They looked the part to me the past 2 weeks. When I say look the part, they kept it close with Ohio State in the first half, or somewhat for Akron for a 50-point spread, right? And then I know the wheels fell off, but I thought they moved the ball against Rutgers better than I thought they would. I know they still didn't cover. They missed field goals. I think they're better than I think this is his best team he's had there at Akron, which I know isn't saying much, but Colgate's not very good. So I think Akron covers against Colgate there. Let's go. That was a wager I placed that I forgot to tell you. UTSA plus 35. I think you probably do that just in a letdown spot, but I don't know. UTSA looked like shit last week. Losing Captain Harris there at the quarterback spot. It didn't look very smooth last week. Wrigley Field. No, I'm not saying it's a dump now. I'm saying at points in history, it's been a dump. You get what I'm saying? Like they've done things to make it better. All these stadiums have. Any classic stadium, Lambeau looks a lot better. They did stuff. That's what they should be doing. In the NFL just punts on this. You don't need a stadium every fucking 20 years. That's all bullshit. That narrative is just complete bullshit. And to make fucking taxpayers pay for it is even worse, right? But college football, what's great about college football is they normally protect that. There's like 150 stadiums that protect that very thing, or they build up around it. You know, what Northwestern and Kansas is doing is basically destroying a classic and building some bullshit. Like just that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and every other fucking stadium in the MLS or something. You know what I mean? Like, be unique. You had a unique stadium. Yes, it needed an upgrade. I agree with whoever shit on it because it did need an upgrade in many regards. But you keep your classic look and then you upgrade it. You know what I mean? So I want remodeled stadiums. Well, I just want to keep the classic stadiums that look cool. Like that looked cool. There was personality to it before. right? I could see that front of David Booth Stadium and know every fucking time that's where the Kansas Jayhawks play. Now they're going to show you. They're going to show you something where you look at it and you just say, "Fuck is that?" Right? Is that where the MLS team in DC, Aldi Field, the DC UFL team or XFL plays there? Is that the one in Kansas City that plays there? You know, it looks like 1,000 fucking stadiums. So there's nothing unique about it. And come on, it's like you don't need to destroy all that shit. You know what I mean? Northwestern just detonated the whole fucking stadium. Like, no, that was kind of cool about it was that you could go and feel the history of the stadium. You're in the fucking same stadium. Otto Graham threw fucking touchdown passes. You know what I mean? Like that's it. There's an element to it. There's soul to it, right? We don't want to be soulless and spineless and just bland, no fucking personality. Anyway, I could talk hours on this. We got games on, folks. What else do I have out there? UTEP Liberty. I think you lay it with Liberty. They make a statement game. They look like shit the first 2 weeks. They make a statement against UTEP. Let's go. Let's go. Folks, we got games. Let's watch this shit. Let's have fun. Northern Iowa plus the points. That thing jumped overnight to like 32. I'm with you. Give me the Panthers plus the points there against Nebraska. Shout out to Shoe Math. Anyway, let's go watch these games. Robert Martin's already a half a Crown Royal deep. Let's go. That's the way it should be. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Please, we have a reaction show coming tonight, probably around 9 Pacific, 8:39 Pacific. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe button, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Check out all the other stuff we have. You know, DFS episodes out, FCS College Football Experience. All week 3 picks out there. The bombs, weekend bombs with CJ Sullivan. And that's the routine every week. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as well. NFL Sunday tomorrow. Jump on over there and they cap the NFL as good as any. So check out that. Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast as the road to the 111th Grey Cup. And remember tonight, reaction show Monday. Monday we'll be talking more college football as well as also the Stadium Heads will drop then too. So check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Till next time, folks. This is the college football experience. Good luck on the plays today. Let's kick ass. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.